Welcome back to The Block Analyst, your trusted source for deep dives into the world of digital assets, blockchain innovation, and the technologies shaping our decentralized future. In today's episode, we are going to explore one of the most promising and fast-evolving sectors in crypto, DePIN, or Decentralized Physical Infrastructure Networks. This is a concept that blends blockchain technology with real-world infrastructure, from connectivity and compute to energy grids, identity, payments, and more. Before we begin, I want to make something very clear. This video is for educational purposes only. Nothing I share here should be considered financial advice. Always do your own research before making any investment decisions. Now, with that disclaimer out of the way, let's dive deep. DePIN, short for Decentralized Physical Infrastructure Networks, is one of the most exciting narratives in the blockchain space. Unlike purely digital ecosystems like DeFi or NFTs, DePIN is about building real-world infrastructure in a decentralized way. Think about the internet, wireless networks, data centers, energy grids, transportation systems. Traditionally, these have all been built and owned by centralized corporations or governments, but DePIN is flipping that model upside down. By using token incentives, decentralized governance, and blockchain coordination, DePIN allows individuals, small businesses, and communities to come together to build massive infrastructure projects. Whether it's wireless hotspots, GPU compute clusters, IoT hardware, or decentralized identity systems. The projects we're going to cover today are some of the leading players or rising stars in the DePIN ecosystem. Some of them don't even have tokens yet, which makes them very interesting from an early adopter perspective. So let's go project by project, exploring their vision, technology, funding, and role within the DePIN landscape.
Let's start with APhone, one of the most exciting projects in the DePIN ecosystem. APhone isn't just another Web3 application. It's essentially a decentralized mobile cloud platform that allows you to run a Web3 native smartphone environment directly from your existing device. Instead of being tied down by the limitations of app stores like Apple's App Store or Google Play, APhone provides a cloud-based operating system where decentralized applications can run seamlessly. The vision here is bold. Make Web3 accessible to anyone, anywhere, on any device. You don't need to buy specialized hardware. You simply access APhone through the cloud and instantly have a blockchain-enabled smartphone experience. This means global users, especially in regions where Web3 adoption is still growing, can bypass traditional barriers and engage with decentralized apps without friction. From a DePIN perspective, APhone plays a critical role because it democratizes access to decentralized infrastructure. By removing the gatekeepers, centralized app stores, developers can publish freely, and users can connect directly with the dApps they need. This opens the door for faster innovation, wider adoption, and truly permissionless mobile computing. Now, it's important to note that APhone is still in its early stages. The project is young, but it has already begun to gain traction thanks to its disruptive vision. If it manages to scale effectively, it could become to decentralized mobile experiences what MetaMask became to Web3 wallets, a gateway technology. In short, APhone represents the mobile layer of DePIN, giving billions of smartphone users around the world direct, unrestricted access to the decentralized web. 2. Rak Wireless. If you've heard of Helium, you know that building wireless networks through community-driven hotspots is one of the earliest and most successful DePIN use cases. Rak Wireless has been at the heart of that movement. Rak Wireless is a hardware manufacturer that produces IoT gateways, sensors, and wireless connectivity devices. These devices are crucial for projects like Helium and other decentralized IoT and connectivity networks. What makes Rak stand out is their global distribution network and years of expertise in wireless hardware manufacturing. While not strictly a blockchain-native company, Rak has become one of the backbone providers enabling decentralized connectivity. Unlike some of the newer projects, Rak Wireless is more of an established player with strong revenues and an existing client base. In the DePIN world, they're less about the token incentives and more about providing the hardware infrastructure that makes decentralized wireless networks possible. 3. Seed Studio. Similar to Rak Wireless, Seed Studio is another crucial hardware layer provider in the DePIN space. They're best known for their open-source hardware solutions, development boards, and IoT devices. Seed Studio's importance comes from its ability to lower the barrier to entry for developers and hobbyists. By providing modular hardware, sensors, and gateways, Seed allows anyone, from individual hackers to enterprise developers, to contribute to decentralized infrastructure. This project has been around for many years, and while it isn't exclusively a DePIN project, its tools and hardware are foundational to the movement. If Rak is industrial scale, Seed is community scale, providing tinkering kits and affordable modules that power early-stage DePIN innovation.
4. Raspberry Pi. Now, let's talk about one of the most iconic names in open hardware, Raspberry Pi. Raspberry Pi is not a crypto-native project, but its influence in the DePIN sector is undeniable. For over a decade, Raspberry Pi boards have been the go-to choice for developers and hobbyists looking to build affordable computing solutions. In the DePIN context, Raspberry Pi devices are often used to run lightweight blockchain nodes, IoT devices, decentralized storage units, and more. They allow anyone, anywhere, to participate in infrastructure building without spending thousands of dollars. Raspberry Pi is a mature project with strong community support, millions of devices sold worldwide, and continuous upgrades in hardware power. For DePIN, it acts as a gateway for mass adoption, turning millions of hobbyists into potential infrastructure providers. 5. Arduino. Closely related to Raspberry Pi is Arduino, another legendary open-source hardware project. Arduino specializes in microcontrollers and development kits, which are ideal for building sensors, IoT devices, and embedded systems. Within DePIN, Arduino hardware enables decentralized sensing, data collection, and small-scale device connectivity. Like Raspberry Pi, Arduino has a huge community and has existed for well over a decade. Its open-source model means it has fostered innovation globally. In the DePIN world, Arduino devices often act as the edge layer, collecting physical data that can then be fed into decentralized systems. Arduino may not have blockchain integration natively, but it's one of the key enablers of grassroots DePIN development. 6. zkPass. Let's move to the identity layer, and here we find one of the most interesting projects in the DePIN ecosystem, zkPass. zkPass is a decentralized identity protocol built on the foundation of zero-knowledge proofs. What does that mean in practice? Essentially, it allows users to prove information about themselves, like age, credit score, employment status, or any other credential, without actually revealing the underlying data. This is a huge deal because in today's digital world, identity verification is almost always centralized. You hand over your passport scan, your driver's license, or your financial documents to a big corporation. They store it, and sometimes they leak it. zkPass flips this model on its head. In the DePIN sector, zkPass provides the identity backbone that allows people to participate in decentralized infrastructure networks while maintaining privacy. For example, if you want to run a node, provide bandwidth, or contribute compute resources, the network might need to verify you're a real human or that you meet certain requirements. zkPass enables that verification without exposing your sensitive data. As for funding, zkPass has already raised capital from well-known venture investors, and it's building strong partnerships across both DeFi and DePIN ecosystems. It's not brand new. The team has been building for a while, but it's still relatively early in its adoption cycle. This means there's a lot of room for growth. 7. Together AI. Artificial intelligence is exploding, but here's the problem. Today's AI infrastructure is centralized in the hands of a few big tech giants. OpenAI, Anthropic, Google, Meta, they own the compute clusters, the models, and the data pipelines. Together AI is trying to decentralize that. Together AI's mission is to build a decentralized cloud for AI. Instead of relying on a single company's servers, developers and researchers can tap into a distributed network of compute providers. This aligns perfectly with the DePIN vision, breaking down centralized silos and enabling global collaboration. What makes Together AI exciting is that it's not just theory. They're already building large-scale open-source AI models, providing APIs, and developing infrastructure that allow smaller players to access powerful AI without being locked into big tech.
Funding-wise, Together AI has raised hundreds of millions of dollars from top investors like Kleiner Perkins and NVIDIA. It's one of the better capitalized projects in this entire list. While it's relatively new compared to traditional AI giants, it's already making significant progress and positioning itself as a key player in decentralized AI infrastructure. 8. Gensyn. If Together AI is about creating a decentralized AI cloud, then Gensyn is about building the protocol that powers it. Gensyn is a decentralized machine learning network. It allows anyone with spare compute resources, whether it's GPUs in a data center or even idle devices at home, to contribute to training AI models. In return, they earn rewards. This model is incredibly powerful because it transforms AI training from a centralized, high barrier to entry activity into a global, permissionless marketplace. Developers get cheaper, scalable access to compute, providers get paid for their idle resources, and the entire ecosystem becomes more resilient and distributed. Gensyn has already attracted serious funding, including a $43 million raise led by Andreessen Horowitz, A16Z. That level of backing signals strong conviction from some of the biggest investors in both crypto and AI. In terms of maturity, Gensyn is still early in its rollout. The infrastructure is being actively developed, and it hasn't yet reached mass adoption. But if successful, it could become the backbone of decentralized AI training in the years ahead.
9. Loxodrome. Now we enter the DeFi for DePIN layer, where finance meets decentralized infrastructure. One of the most notable players here is Loxodrome. Loxodrome is a project that wants to bring financial liquidity and programmable incentives directly into the DePIN sector. Imagine this. You're contributing to a decentralized network. Maybe you're providing compute, bandwidth, or even health data. How do you monetize that? How do you access capital against those contributions? That's where Loxodrome comes in. It's building tools to tokenize participation in DePIN networks, turning your contribution into an asset that can be financed, traded, or used as collateral. This could unlock massive new ways for individuals to earn income streams from real-world infrastructure, while investors can get exposure to those assets without actually running hardware. The project is still quite early and experimental. While it doesn't yet have the kind of massive funding rounds we've seen in AI projects, its approach is unique. It's tackling the financial plumbing that could make DePIN sustainable at scale. 10. Quenta. Another project in this layer is Quenta. Quenta positions itself as a decentralized derivatives exchange, but what makes it relevant to DePIN is its ability to provide advanced trading and hedging tools for assets tied to decentralized infrastructure. Think about it. If you're building a decentralized cloud, storage network, or bandwidth marketplace, the tokens powering those systems will be volatile. Quenta creates the infrastructure to hedge against that volatility. In practice, this means operators and investors in DePIN ecosystems could manage risk much more effectively, using Quenta's synthetic assets and derivatives. It's like giving Wall Street-style tools to decentralized networks. Quenta has been building steadily and has already attracted a growing user base in DeFi. It's not a brand new project. The project has been evolving for several years, but its integration with DePIN narratives is only now starting to gain traction. 11. Fleek. Next, we move to the bandwidth layer, where one of the standout names is Fleek. Fleek is all about decentralized web infrastructure. Think of it like the Web3 version of Netlify or Vercel. Developers can deploy, host, and manage sites and applications using decentralized storage and bandwidth providers instead of relying on centralized cloud services like AWS or Cloudflare. This is a critical part of DePIN because it decentralizes the very backbone of the internet. Without platforms like Fleek, much of the so-called decentralized web would still depend on centralized cloud giants. Fleek has strong backing from investors and has already been used by thousands of developers to build decentralized sites and apps. It's not a brand new project. It's been around for a while and has gone through iterations, but it remains one of the most practical and user-friendly DePIN platforms. By abstracting away complexity, it lowers the barrier to entry for developers who want to build in Web3 but don't want to manage infrastructure from scratch. 12. Chainstack. Let's shift into the digital resource layer where we find Chainstack. Chainstack is a blockchain infrastructure provider that makes it easy for developers and enterprises to deploy and manage blockchain nodes and networks. At first glance, this might look like a B2B infrastructure company, and in some ways it is, but in the DePIN narrative, it plays a much bigger role. By decentralizing node access and providing multi-chain support, Chainstack reduces dependency on centralized node providers. That means more resilient blockchain ecosystems, more distributed access to infrastructure, and ultimately stronger decentralization across Web3. Chainstack isn't brand new. It's been operating for several years and it's already established itself as a trusted provider. It also has a strong customer base, including enterprises that need reliable blockchain infrastructure. In terms of funding, Chainstack has built a sustainable business with commercial partnerships, rather than relying only on speculative tokenomics. 13. Polybase. Alongside Chainstack, we have Polybase, which focuses on decentralized databases. If Chainstack is about nodes and networks, Polybase is about the data layer. Web 2 applications rely heavily on centralized databases like Firebase or MongoDB. But in Web 3, storing user data in a centralized server defeats the purpose. Polybase offers a decentralized alternative. Developers can use Polybase to build applications where data is owned and controlled by users rather than corporations. This is essential for DePIN because many infrastructure projects require secure, verifiable, and decentralized data storage. Polybase is relatively new compared to some of the giants in this list, but it's solving a real problem, giving Web3 developers the database tools they need without compromising decentralization. 14. Health blocks. Health blocks is one of the most fascinating projects in the physical resource layer because it tackles something deeply personal, our health data. In today's world, your health data, from medical records to fitness tracker stats, is controlled by hospitals, insurance companies, or big tech companies. You rarely own it yourself. Health blocks flips this model on its head. It allows individuals to own, control, and share their health data securely through a decentralized system. The idea is that you can choose who gets access to your health records, whether that's a doctor, a researcher, or even a wellness app, and in return, you may be rewarded for sharing that data. This is a real-world asset, your personal health info, being transformed into a tokenized and permissioned resource. The project has been around for a couple of years and is part of the broader movement to bring data sovereignty into the healthcare space. By building on decentralized infrastructure, HealthBlocks ensures that no single institution can monopolize your data. This isn't just theory. HealthBlocks has already built pilots and partnerships in the health tech sector. And as the world leans more into personalized medicine and AI-driven health research, the value of secure, user-owned health data will only increase. 15. Pi-Fi Network. Moving forward, we have Pi-Fi Network, another ambitious physical resource layer project. Pi-Fi focuses on creating decentralized networks powered by AI and community-driven resources. Its primary goal is to let users contribute unused resources, whether that's computing power, connectivity, or even other forms of physical data, and plug them into a wider decentralized marketplace. What sets Pi-Fi apart is its focus on bridging AI and DePIN. As artificial intelligence requires massive amounts of compute and bandwidth, Pi-Fi aims to crowdsource those resources in a decentralized way, making it possible for regular people to contribute and earn rewards. The project is fairly new, still in its early stages, but its ambition is clear: to become a backbone network where physical and digital contributions converge, particularly for AI-heavy applications.
Next up is 3DOS Network, which takes us deep into the world of decentralized 3D printing and manufacturing. Imagine a world where instead of relying on centralized factories or shipping supply chains, production is distributed globally across independent operators who share 3D printing resources. That's the vision behind 3DOS. The project enables individuals and small businesses to connect their 3D printers into a decentralized manufacturing marketplace. If you need a part produced, the system routes the job to the nearest available provider. Payments and logistics are handled on-chain. This is a true DePIN model applied to manufacturing, turning idle machines and local capabilities into part of a global supply network.
The potential is massive: lower costs, faster delivery, and resilience against centralized supply chain disruptions. 3DOS is relatively early stage, but the vision is bold. If it succeeds, it could democratize production in the same way Bitcoin democratized money. 17. MVL Chain. Let's now talk about MVL Chain, which sits at the intersection of mobility and DePIN. MVL is short for Mass Vehicle Ledger. It's a blockchain ecosystem designed to connect mobility services like ride-hailing, logistics, and vehicle data sharing into a decentralized framework. In practice, this means data generated by vehicles, trips, usage patterns, even maintenance is stored on-chain and can be accessed in transparent and permissioned ways. This creates accountability and efficiency across the mobility sector, while also enabling token incentives for participants. MVL has actually been around for quite a while. It's not brand new. The project has already established operations in Southeast Asia, where its ride-hailing app has been active. In fact, MVL has partnered with companies like Hyundai and is working to expand its decentralized mobility vision globally. So while many DePIN projects are still theoretical, MVL has the advantage of being battle-tested in real markets. 18. Mapmetrics. Another innovative project in this layer is Mapmetrics, a crypto navigation app that rewards users for contributing location data. Think of it as a decentralized alternative to Google Maps or Waze. When you drive with Mapmetrics, your location data is collected and used to improve the navigation system. But unlike Web 2 apps, here you own that data and get rewarded for it. Mapmetrics operates on a drive-to-earn model where users share data in exchange for tokens. Businesses can also benefit by advertising or integrating with the ecosystem, all while data contributors remain in control. The project is relatively young, but it has already built a working app and is onboarding users. If it succeeds, it will decentralize one of the most valuable forms of data in the modern world, geolocation. 19. PowerPod. PowerPod focuses on peer-to-peer energy sharing. The idea is simple, but powerful. Households or businesses with excess renewable energy, say from solar panels, can share or sell that energy directly to others through a decentralized platform. This tackles two problems at once. It maximizes the use of renewable resources, and it reduces dependency on centralized utilities. By tokenizing energy credits, PowerPod creates a real-world incentive structure where clean energy can flow more efficiently. The project is fairly new, but energy DePIN is one of the most promising sectors, especially as the world transitions to greener alternatives. PowerPod could play a role in making energy systems more resilient and community-driven. 20. Tally. Tally is one of the most important projects in the governance layer, designed to make on-chain governance easier and more accessible. In decentralized ecosystems, governance is everything. It's how decisions are made, proposals are voted, and rules evolve. But the process can be confusing and fragmented. Tally solves this by providing a user-friendly interface for DAO governance. Users can create and manage DAOs, track proposals, vote, and delegate voting power. By simplifying governance, Tally empowers more people to participate in decentralized decision-making. It's not a new project. Tally has been building for several years and is widely used by DAOs across Ethereum and other chains. It's one of the most battle-tested governance platforms in the space. 21. Snapshot. Next, we have Snapshot, perhaps the most widely adopted governance tool in crypto. Snapshot allows DAOs and protocols to conduct off-chain voting in a way that is secure, transparent, and gasless. Users sign votes with their wallet, but the votes are stored off-chain, avoiding high gas fees. The genius of Snapshot is its balance between efficiency and decentralization. Votes are free, but still verifiable and tamper-proof. This has made Snapshot the go-to tool for protocols like Uniswap, Aave, and hundreds of DAOs worldwide. Snapshot is not just an experiment. It's already a core infrastructure piece of Web3 governance. 22. Inferix. Inferix is a project that focuses on distributed AI compute. Artificial intelligence requires enormous computational resources, but access is often controlled by big corporations. Inferix decentralizes this by allowing individuals and businesses to contribute unused GPU power into a shared marketplace. This turns idle GPUs into income-generating assets, while also providing affordable access to developers who need compute for training AI models.
Inferix is a relatively new project, but it's building in one of the hottest intersections of Web3 and AI. If it scales, it could become a vital layer for decentralized machine learning.
23. Axiom Space. Now let's talk about Axiom, another ambitious project in the off-chain compute space. Axiom allows smart contracts to securely access and compute over historical blockchain data. Normally, smart contracts can only work with on-chain data available in real time. Axiom extends this capability by providing verified computations on past data, feeding the results back on-chain. This opens the door to more complex applications, advanced DeFi strategies, historical proofs, or automated actions triggered by past events. Axiom is already live in the Ethereum ecosystem and has been gaining traction among developers. It's not just theory, it's a working tool making smart contracts smarter. 24. Crank. Crank is a decentralized wireless network, or DWI, project similar to Helium but with its own unique approach. It allows individuals to set up small wireless nodes that contribute to a larger community-driven network. In return, they earn tokens for providing coverage. The focus here is on building infrastructure from the ground up. Instead of depending on telecom giants, communities can own and operate the networks they rely on. Crank is still early stage, but it reflects a strong trend, connectivity as a shared, decentralized resource. Number 25, Carrier One. Carrier One is another project pushing the boundaries of decentralized connectivity. Its goal is to create a community-owned cellular network where individuals deploy hardware to provide mobile coverage and share in the rewards. Think of it as an alternative to centralized mobile carriers, a system where the infrastructure is owned by the people, not corporations. Carrier One is actively building and has already launched pilots. Like Helium, it represents a DePIN model for telecom, which could disrupt one of the biggest industries in the world. And that wraps up our deep dive into the top DePIN projects that are shaping the future of decentralized infrastructure. From hardware platforms like APhone, Raspberry Pi, and Arduino, to AI-focused initiatives like Together AI, Gensyn, and AYD AI, to governance tools like Snapshot and Tally, what we're seeing is a massive wave of innovation building the foundation for the next generation of the internet. Each of these projects addresses a different piece of the puzzle, whether it's connectivity, compute, data, bandwidth, or intelligence, but together they form a broader ecosystem that could redefine how we think about networks, resources, and digital ownership. Now, it's really important to underline this. Nothing in this video is financial advice. We are not recommending you buy, sell, or invest in any of these projects. The goal of this breakdown is purely educational, to help you understand what's being built, why it matters, and how the DePIN movement is evolving across different sectors. Crypto markets are volatile, narratives change fast, and many of these projects are still in their early stages. Some will succeed, others may fail. That's the nature of innovation. If you are considering getting involved with any of them, whether through community participation or financial exposure, always do your own research, manage your risks, and never invest more than you can afford to lose. Here on The Block Analyst, our mission is to bring you clear, data-driven insights into the crypto landscape. No hype, no shortcuts, just deep analysis of the technologies and trends shaping this space. So let me leave you with this thought. DePIN is not just about tokens, it's about infrastructure. It's about rethinking how the internet and our physical systems can operate in a decentralized, open, and user-owned way. Whether or not these specific projects deliver, the movement they're part of is already shaping the future. If you found this breakdown valuable, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to The Block Analyst, and hit the bell so you don't miss the next episode. We'll keep exploring the most important stories and innovations across crypto, DeFi, and Web3. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.